Sure, Disney may make the most money, and Pixar makes the most tears, but can they really be compared to DreamWorks when it comes to memes? And of course, for me, ironic enjoyment is better than actual quality. So I'm saying it now. I would much rather make a LEGO minifigure series based on DreamWorks movies than other animation companies. I mean, what studio could create everything from a completely serious biblical epic about Moses to Shrek the Halls? Whether famous or infamous, DreamWorks movies are memorable, and I have more memories of watching them than those losers at Disney. So here we go. My custom LEGO DreamWorks minifigure series. Oh, I should mention that I added shading to my drawings, and it actually makes it look a lot nicer than I thought it would. So all my other series are obsolete now. But let's just focus on the present. I've already made an entire Shrek series, and I've drawn a total of 3 Shreks over the years. But I still obviously had to include the main man in this series. This is his appearance as an oddly handsome human from the end of Shrek 2, the best of the Shreks, with Superman's hair in dark brown, and the fairy godmother's potion that turned into this form in the first place. Okay, this is the last character from Shrek, I swear. I know that Shrek being the only movie in this series with more than one figure, when I made an entire separate series for it, seems a little unfair, but I just couldn't include human Shrek without human Fiona. She spends more time as a human than Shrek anyway. She has the same hair that I made for her as an ogre, just without the ears, a darker green dress that she wears in Shrek 2, and has 2 accessories. One is a blue flower with red thorns, in reference to a joke from the first movie. The other is the puppy that the fairy godmother summons in the second movie. Unfortunately, going in chronological order, the next movie is Shark Tale, and the next minifigure is Oscar the Will Smith fish from Shark Tale. Shark Tale is a gangster epic starring Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese that was nominated for an Oscar. No pun intended. So you think it'd be good. It's not really that good. But Oscar the Fish is such an infamous character that I had to include him. He has a new terrifying headpiece, and the mermaid's tail to represent him being an actual fish. Yeah, I know the scaling is way off for the series, but just go with it. His accessory is a dark blue clam with a pearl that the Renee Zellweger fish gives to the Will Smith fish at some point in the movie. An actual comedic classic is Madagascar. I really wish I could have included the best characters from Madagascar, the racism-stopping penguins, but they would have to be accessories, and I couldn't include all 4 with one figure, so I guess I have to make the main character. Alex the lion has a new intricate headpiece, a tail, and one of his beloved steaks on a plate. So you wouldn't really consider Wallace and Gromit DreamWorks characters, but Curse of the Were-Rabbit is one of the best movies they've ever distributed, and I just really wanted to draw them. Wallace could not be made without his iconic head shape, so I opted for a LEGO Simpsons approach of a newly moulded piece. And Gromit is based on the Santa's Little Helper piece, also from The Simpsons. I also couldn't not give Wallace a block of cheese, but I'm afraid I forgot the crackers. You like jazz? It's Barry B. Benson from B-Movie, who says, "You like jazz?" Barry B. Benson from B-Movie comes with a new buzz cut hairpiece, and Ray Liotta Private Select. What's the deal with airline food? Barry B. Anyway, next is the big fat panda himself, Po from the beloved Kung Fu Panda, voiced by the incomparable Bowser. He's actually pretty simple, just coming with a new panda headpiece and a dumpling for his accessory. I questioned how I was going to do a Monsters vs Aliens character. Ginormica was the obvious choice, being the main character, but she spends the whole movie being 49 feet tall, so it doesn't make much sense making her a minifigure. But then I had the idea of giving her accessories of other characters from the movie, making her appear giant by comparison, and including 3 characters that I considered putting into the series in one. Size doesn't matter anyway. I have Oscar and Barry B. Benson the same size as all the other characters as well. Ginormica has a friend's hairpiece in white, and 2 roller skates to represent the cars that she skates on. Ignore the fact that one of the cars is red in the reference picture. The car is blue in the actual movie. And like I mentioned, she comes with Bob and the missing link alongside her. Sorry, Dr. Cockroach, 3 would be too many. Next is Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III from How to Train Your Dragon. I've only seen the first movie of this trilogy, but apparently they're some of the best that DreamWorks has ever put out, so yeah, I obviously had to include Hiccup. I chose his design from the first movie, as it's the only one I've seen, and it represents his role as a weak Viking boy the most. His accessory is a sword, but the real attention grabber is his dragon, Toothless. What do you mean that's a terrible terror? That's Toothless. Look, they look exactly alike. An obvious inclusion in this series is the character from the subversive masterpiece, Megamind. He has a head attachment that works similarly to the egg head from Batman, and has a total of 3 neck attachments, which I'm not sure would actually fit together in real life, but I'm too lazy to try. His accessory is a pretty simplified rendition of his dehydration gun. Also, for some reason the picture on the screen of him right now doesn't have a beard, but trust me, he has a beard. Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians, the teenage heartthrob who people apparently ship with Elsa from Frozen, is here. He has messy hair in white, a hoodie that is pretty saturated compared to what it actually looks like, but it's the closest on the Lego palette, and a new long wooden staff piece, which I thought would be too complicated to include like snow dust on it, so I just left it blank. The Croods just got a sequel, so I guess it is important enough to DreamWorks to include in this series, even though I hardly hear anyone talk about it. This is Eep, who is not really the main character of the movie, that goes to Nicolas Cage, but she has a much more interesting design, and I need to balance the gender ratio a bit more. She has a wacky new hairpiece, and just a rock for her accessory. I was originally going to give her Belt the Sloth, but I've been including a lot of cute animal sidekicks so far. Getting to the last 4 of this series, and the most modern movies, here's O from the completely forgettable Home, voiced by Mr. Bazinga Man. I actually did watch this movie, unlike anyone else, so I had enough of a connection to include O in the series, even though the movie isn't the best. He has an entirely new body piece that slips over his torso, like the Yeti and SpongeBob have, and a staff that I had to rewatch a couple of clips on YouTube to remember was called the Shusher. I only remember that this movie had Rihanna and Sheldon Cooper, and nothing else. I have not seen Trolls, nor do I plan to see Trolls. In fact, I kinda hate Trolls. But it's a modern moneymaker, so you know they would include a troll in this series. Plus they've already made Lego sets, so it saved me the trouble of drawing Branch's head from scratch. Apparently Branch is grey at the start of the movie but turns blue, and the Lego sets only include the blue version, so, easy compromise, draw his grey version for my series. His accessory is a guitar that he throws into a fire in the trailer. I don't even know if that scene happens in the movie, but I'm basing all my knowledge off the trailer. The Academy Award nominated Boss Baby is next, a triumph of cinema that everyone loves. Again, there was a scaling problem, as he's literally a baby, so it would have made more sense to give him the existing baby piece, but that would mean drawing Tim as the minifigure, and that's one too many Boss Baby characters to include in this series, so I just made the Boss Baby the minifigure instead. He has a suitcase, a cookie, and a stupid punchable face. Finally, some quality. I was very excited to draw Captain Underpants, because I grew up with his books that were undisputed masterpieces. I could have drawn an entire Captain Underpants series if I wanted to. I legally have to say that this figure represents Captain Underpants, the first epic movie by DreamWorks, but I haven't actually seen the movie. I want to watch it now, because I was a lot older back in 2017, and I couldn't appreciate true cinema. Either way, he feels like a perfect way to end the series, and just comes with his iconic curtain cape, and an action pose piece to show him flying. I couldn't think of an accessory for him until it was too late. I could have had him have the Hippo ring, but I guess the posing piece is enough. And that's it. Sorry to all the fans of their oldest movies like The Road to El Dorado, The Prince of Egypt and Ants, but I felt these characters captured what DreamWorks is presenting themselves as nowadays. The Shrek and Kung Fu Panda guys, who you need to forgive for some of their stuff and give them Oscars for their other stuff. I know I've said this before, but this is my new favourite series I've made. I hope you like it, and yeah, I know it's weird that I made 16 figures, when LEGO themselves have permanently switched to 12, but I was having a lot of fun making it, and I didn't want to cut any characters, even if I've never seen their movies. By the way, my next series will be a lot quicker than you think, because it's a Super Smash Bros. Fighters Pass 2 series, and I've been making all the characters pretty much as soon as they were revealed over the last year. I just gotta make Sora and then it'll be ready. So stay tuned, follow me on Instagram, and get me a copy of Captain Underpants: The First Epic Movie. I would like that a lot.